G'day guys, welcome to the preview of our game against the Gold Coast Suns, traditional rivals, at the MCG on Sunday afternoon, early start, 10 past 1. We haven't had one of these games this year. A 10 past 1 game at the MCG on a Sunday. Weather looks to be okay. One of my subscribers, or someone in the comments section, said that I've become desensitized to this. I sort of brushed over when I saw the comment. This bloke has become desensitized. We've watched this guy become desensitized. And I've been doing this now for 5 years. Well, this is the 5th year. And there's no doubt, there's no doubt the more I thought about that throughout the week, that is correct. I don't know when the real passion for this club will come again. I don't know. It will come again. I know it will come again. But right now, it is not there. It is not there. I no longer get disappointed. I just don't get disappointed with anything. There's shocking injuries, whatever it is. I just don't get disappointed. It's been such a long process of disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, and letdown after letdown after letdown and after letdown after letdown with this football club of ours, that you get to the point, and we've got to that, or I've got to that point now where I've been just able to take myself back from that disappointment. But I know the real passion will return. I know it will return. But it's not going to turn around. I said this last week before the Essendon game, in the preview of that game, that it's not going to return if we beat the Bombers. Although beating a traditional rival and maybe just the last chance of giving you a slight sniff of remaining in this season could spark something. But the way that game panned out was so, in the end, predictable. And you look at this game against the Suns, and the only way I can really view this game, the only way I can focus on this game is to try and think it along the lines of, this is all about, to me, the Gold Coast Suns and their aspirations really of 2023 and potentially 224 under Stuart Dew. And I know we're probably, we're the same. We've got Voss, who's been pretty much guaranteed that he'll hang around at our football club until the end of next year. But we're not going anywhere this year. We're not. But the Gold Coast Suns, they could be on the cusp of playing in their first ever final series. And you're blinking like it wasn't that long ago that they started, but they've been around the traps now for a long time and have been so bloody irrelevant. Must be an incredible amount of, I suppose, pressure that comes with that. Coming down to Melbourne this weekend after playing 2 games in Darwin, sitting 11th on the ladder, potentially will go into the top 8 with a win against us. And that doesn't guarantee that they will stay there. That gives them a very good opportunity to keep their season alive. And just maybe for them, something pretty damn special. They're coming off a bye. We're going into a bye. They played 2 games in Darwin. against the Adelaide Crows where they trailed, I think, by 40 odd points at one stage. I watched that game and they flew home. They were challenged after they hit the front and then they got back in front and then they pulled away, comfortable win. And the week before they played the Bulldogs in a really close one in Darwin. Two teams that are sitting still inside the top 8 at the moment. And you're not looking at the Bulldogs and Adelaide as top echelon, but they're better than us. But they played them in Darwin. Now they've got to come to the G. It's a big trip, and there's got to be. My gut feel is this is so big for them, and this is more about them than us. My gut feel is they're going to come here and potentially fuck their season up by not turning up and hand us a win on a platter. That's what it feels like to me with this. It just doesn't. I want them to come to the G on Sunday. And this seems strange because this is a Carlton person, but I want the opposition, with the situation they're in, to come to the G on Sunday with fucking fire in their fucking belly and really want to fucking win this game of football. I don't want them to come at like a lot of interstate teams do when it's all a little bit too hard. And we're no different. I want them to come here and really, really show something. I want them to show an incredible amount of fucking fight and spirit and make it so fucking hard for us to win this game of football that we have to fucking earn this win. And I mean earn it. Because if we're waltzing away to a 25, 26 point win, 5, 6 goal win, whatever that is, they've handed this game to us. I've got no doubt about it. I will hate that. I will hate that. So let's look at the ins for us. Let's look at them because Michael Voss has already come out today and said that David Cunningham will play his first game since Federation. I think it was 1903 since he last played for the football club. No, seriously, what was it? 2021. Did his ACL. I was at that game against the D's. It was heading towards that period of time before he went back into lockdown and COVID and stuff. He played 2 or 3 games in the ones, was building, going along quite nicely. And then he just collapsed really early in the game. I think it was the D's. Went down clutching at his knee. And we just sort of thought, damn, this is it. This bloke's just been cruel by injury. Had that hip injury in 2016. Knee problems 2018, 2019. Calf problems before his ACL. And then since his rehab, this has been one of the longest ACL rehabs of all time because he's just had constant soreness and calf problems and played the last 2 in the VFL. And he was really good against Essendon last week. I watched that game and he was really good. Really good. 26 or 27 disposals, kicked the goal and just moved really well, predominantly played midfield. So let's get him into the mix. If we're going to play him in the midfield in the VFL, let's get him into some centre squares. Let's get him in there. Let's see what this guy has got. He's 26 years of age. He's played 41 games. He's out of contract at the end of the year. Let's see what he's got, because if he's got any chance of being at this club, let's throw him into the action. We lack spark in there. Let's not be conservative with this guy. Understand there's all this conditioning type crap, but if you're going to play him this weekend, let's throw him into the heat. Let's throw him in there because time is running out for him. All right. If we think he's still got something to offer, okay, this club, we need to see it. We need to see it. And he needs to pretty much stay injury free for the rest of 2023. Fingers crossed for him. Voss didn't say much about Jackson Binns. He's been named on the extended bench. We won't find out until the end of the day, around about 5 o'clock, who the rest of the players will be. Fogarty, another one. Pitnet and Newman come into the team. Pitnet into the ruck, Newman down back. And at the moment, that extended bench is Paddy Dow, Jackson Binns, David Cunningham will play, Lewis Young, Chincotta, Fogarty, Matthew Kennedy, Ed Curnow. These are my preferences, just out of interest, rather than what I think the club will do. I want to see Binns. Let's give him a go. Cunningham's in. I don't think Chincotta deserves to get dropped. I think he was serviceable last week. I know Newman's come in, but yeah, he'd be pretty stiff given how poor a lot of those other players were. Fogarty, I just think, like Cunningham deserves an opportunity to come in. His form in the VFL's been okay. They've dropped Motlop, they've dropped Silvani, so the like for like in regards to bringing in maybe a high half forward who can create some sort of havoc and chaos at ground level. Bring him in, Matthew Kennedy, Ed Curnow. I'd be taking out, and it won't happen, but Lewis Young's putrid at the moment. He is putrid. I'll be taking out Matthew Kennedy, putrid at the moment, and take out Ed Curnow, putrid at the moment. And really, what the fuck are we doing with Paddy Down? He's not going to be at the club next year. He's not going. How can he be at the club next year if you're going to play him as a sub? If the decision's been made on him, or they're trying to find out whether he's still got it, play him. Fucking play him as a sub. So I'd be actually saying, no, Paddy, we don't want you, mate. Go back to the VFL. You're actually playing Werribee on the weekend, who are flying in the VFL under Michael Barlow. They are quality. Go down to Churnside Park in Werribee, okay, and have a run around there, mate. Okay, because I'm sure there are going to be some recruiters from other clubs having a look at you. All right, because this is getting a bit of a joke. Okay, a bit of a joke. Let's have a look, okay, at the Gold Coast Suns. Harry obviously plays his 100th game. Tom De Koning plays his 50th. I would like to see, just quickly before I get to the Suns, I would like to see Tom De Koning, if they don't play Lewis Young, trial down at centre back. They want to free up Jacob Wiedering as an intercept player, similar to what they did to Alex Rance at the Tigers. Why not? Why not an opportunity to play TDK, okay, in a different role? If he's not going to be at the club next year, wouldn't it be an opportunity to maybe, show opposition as teams who are interested in him that he is flexible, that he can play in different roles? Who knows? But let's show us something. Same with Cripper. Why not? Why not throw him forward for extended period times? If it means we give Charlie Curnow a pinch hit in the centre of the ground, geez, I'd just love to see something a little bit different from this team this weekend, except the same old players in certain positions doing the same old things. Okay, the Suns. They get back some good players, but they've all been pretty much named on the extended bench. Sexton, good player, up and down, but is a noted goal kicker. Brandon Ellis, two-time premiership at the Tigers, been out with injuries, may come in. Mac Andrew, been out through suspension. I think he may play. If we do go in tour with TDK, Charlie and Harry, they might need to bring him in. Ned Boyle and Sam Day. Well, that's a big surprise, coming back for his 150th game, and Charlie Ballard will play his 100th. Now, Sam Day's been named on an extended bench, but I don't know if they'll go in that big. I just don't know. Given they've already got Ben King and Levi Casbolt, do they roll the dice with Sam Day as well? A bit of cat and mouse there. A bit of cat and mouse. Do they go in big in their front half? Who knows? But they've got some quality. I like the subplot of Nick Holman and Levi Casbolt. I just think they've been able to resurrect their careers, unwanted at the, like Levi was at us with us for such a long time, and he wasn't never going to make us any better. But I just think it's fascinating to see the Giants in this situation at the moment. You've got Levi Casbolt, a key in their front half, and also Nick Holman, who's a real antagoniser. And I mean a real antagoniser, aggressive, a little bit nasty. I reckon it's good. I reckon it's really good. They've got some real hard nuts in the middle of the ground. Swallow can play hard. We know what Rao can do. Ainsworth's just class, really classy. I love Bailey Humphrey. I'm actually surprised he started or been named on the extended bench. He will play. And they've just got a warrior in the ruck in Jarrett Wheats, a real warrior. He'll just make it really hard for us all day. He'll just keep going, and keep going. And you just know they're going to have some players who are going to get under our guard. I remember last year it was Malcolm Rosas, small forward, who really gave us a few headaches. And Jack Lukosius. Who goes to Jack Lukosius? If we're going to try and free, that's a good mix of players in your front half, isn't it? So who goes to Jack Lukosius? Is it McGovern or is it Kemp? If it's Kemp, that's a huge role for Brodie Kemp. And I mean a huge role, because one thing he hasn't really shown so far in his small time as a defender is the ability to defend really strongly. I think he shows a lot of promise, but that's a big role if it is for Brodie Kemp, and I think it may be. But as I say, this is all about the Gold Coast Suns as far as I'm concerned, whether they're going to show up for this game with a fight. Because we've seen it in the past. No supporters. Gill's probably out there at the moment, just probably walking the streets of Melbourne, just handing out Gold Coast Suns flags and hats and beanies to a few homeless people, and chucking them $30 or $40 and say, get along to the G on Sunday, buy yourself a pie and a hot dog and a drink and support the Gold Coast Suns. I couldn't imagine how bad that must be to come on foreign territory and not have anything, and it happens a lot for them. It happens a lot. And how do you measure that? Do you measure that? But they have a big opportunity to really change the narrative for this football club this week against us. And I know we've been struggling, and it mightn't appear like a big kill for them, given how bad we are going. But just for them and who they are, they've got to come here. They've got to come here and really go for this one.